Welcome to episode 11 of Pause for Peace. My name is Jule and I pastor Hillwood Presbyterian Church, USA, that gathers on the west side of Nashville, Tennessee. And that on this Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, we'll be gathering at noon in order to launch ourselves into this season in the liturgical calendar, in the church's year together, that we call Lent. This is a time for Christians to be deeper committed to the spiritual practices, to be about readying ourselves, to let go, to shed, to allow ourselves to unite with the prayer that we will hear upon the lips of Jesus, "Thy will be done." I'm glad you have joined me here today because February 14th actually also happens to be a holiday when we celebrate in many places of the world this little gathering called Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day actually is inspired by a saint of the church, Saint Valentine, who has an incredibly risky, brave history. The stories are that early in the formation of the way of following in the Christ, when those who were following this way were actually being sort of sought out and hunted down by the empire of Rome, that really was against the religious ceremony of binding together in a Christian marriage, that St. Valentine risked life and limb, literally became persecuted by the Roman Empire for marrying young couples, for bringing them together in this covenant that would allow them to live in the way of love and be an expression of the outflow of love that we see in the divine, that we see in God. And it was St. Valentine who risked it all in order to be about that ceremony, that covenant of relationship between two lovers that would be able to be an expression of the great love that we know in God. So in this episode of Pause for Peace, I want us to focus on love, to focus on our heart space right there in the center of our chest. I heard the most interesting, the most unique way I have heard it expressed before recently by a spiritual teacher, Megan Watterson, who was reminding us that unconditional love, not living according to the ways of the empire, not living according to the standards of those who are in our lives and wanting us to live a certain way that we might then be loved by them, not following the rules of such societal constraints that might, in fact, not be allowing us to truly flourish in love, but by turning inward and realizing that unconditional love is an inside job. Unconditional love actually flows from the inside out. It was such an interesting way to understand unconditional love, to take in this wisdom that I actually don't need to seek unconditional love outside of myself. I can seek unconditional love within. I can seek to unite with that love that we know that is God, that lives in all things, that lives in every one of us. When I can turn that journey of wanting to unite with unconditional love inward, I can actually stop projecting my needs for being loved all around outside me. In fact, there are those who would argue that until I can love myself, I will not love anyone else. I will project onto them what I am wanting to develop in myself, like attracting to myself what I see and think they will bring me to feel that sense of wholeness, that sense of unconditioned love. And it never truly works, not for a lifetime at least. It only works when we begin to encounter, to awaken, and to unite internally with the unconditioned, the free love that is God, that has created all things. When I begin there, I can seek union and loving union all around me. I can accept others as they are because I have begun that journey of accepting myself, knowing that I am the beloved of God. You are the beloved of God. And this journey is one in this practice of Christian spirituality, in this practice of being a human being. The journey is one of falling deeper and deeper and deeper in love with the great beloved, that we will be united fully as beloveds, ourselves and the divine, that all of that will be intertwined in full and celebrated in ourselves, and then able to be reflected and shared all around us. So for our practice today, as I said, I would like to lead us in a practice of awakening the love that lives within us, of coming in contact with our beloved, with the divine, with that breath of life that inhabits all things, with that energy, that force of love that courses through every living thing. So, if you would like to be a part of this practice today, I want to invite you to get yourself comfortable right now. And this will be a little bit of a combination of a guided meditation and a technique that I have learned as a certified healing touch practitioner with Healing Beyond Borders, a technique that is called the spiral meditation opening, which is a heart-centered, heart-opening practice. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you are watching this as a video cast, I'm actually using my right hand, which may not appear as my right hand on the video, but I'm using my right hand and I am opening my energy centers. I'm opening that sense of love and the energy within me in a spiral direction, a clockwise spiral direction. So following the face of a clock, not a digital face of a clock, but the old-fashioned face of a clock, spiral clockwise. That is the way that we open further these centers of our energetic being. So I'm going to invite you to get your feet flat on the floor. If you want to take your shoes off, you can. This is also a wonderful energy opening and prayer practice to be doing while you're laying in bed, maybe before you jump out of your bed this morning to start the day. You can just be about this practice. So having our feet flat on the floor, feel free to close your eyes if you desire, or if not, you are welcome to leave them open and to see how I guide you in this process. And like I said, invite you to use your right hand and place it in the center of your chest right now. This is our heart center, our heart energy center, sometimes referred to as our heart chakra. And so just place that right there. And let's just begin to notice, to turn inward. We're going to spend some time with our interior right now. We're going to seek unconditional love internally right now. So in the quiet, if you'll just notice what's happening underneath your hand. I hope that you are using your right hand on your heart center. just seems the easiest way to go about a clockwise spiral, a clockwise opening of these energy centers. So our right hand right there in the center of our chest right now. Take a deep breath into your belly. I just invite you to release that. Depending on what you're noticing in your heart, you may want to release it with a sound. It might be a scream. It might be a moan. It might be a sound of releasing, like almost weeping, of like releasing sadness that might be within your heart. But take another deep breath and release it. Let's just be paying attention to what's happening in our heart space. And we're setting the intention to awaken, to open the love that is in us, to awaken this energy of the divine that lives in all of us. We might just be noticing what's happening under our hand, inside of our chest. And with that intention of opening, to bring in a deeper and wider experience and a more intense experience of the unconditional love that God is, that resides in all things, I'm going to now invite you to move your hand. Move your hand in that spiral, clockwise spiral direction. You're gonna move it from your heart to right in the below your rib cage, kind of in the middle of your torso. If you do know about the energy centers, this would be an energy center often referred to as the solar plexus. You might imagine that energy beginning to swirl and to open from the heart to the solar plexus, this strength of unconditional love beginning to open and awaken in you. Just inviting all aspects of ourself to open this day to the love that is God, that is so, so very good, our deep, deep, most cherished relationship with the beloved. Perhaps you're experiencing this opening as like a melting. Perhaps something there has felt blocked or kind of frozen, and this energy of inviting in the love is just melting it away, like butter just melts right when it's put with a heat source. And then moving our hand again in that spiral, clockwise spiral direction, we're going to move our right hand up right above our heart, but not quite at our throat. This place that is known as our soul seat. This place that some people can consider the high heart, or this center that awakens us to our heart's greatest desire. And in these moments, may our mantra be, may our words, may our intention be awakening to the greatest desire to be united fully with unconditional love internally, the God living within. Take another deep breath. Maybe you're becoming aware of a desire to connect. Maybe you're becoming aware of a desire to heal, to move out what might be blocking that flow of love in you. So just be noticing what's taking place, paying attention, inviting it all. It's all a part of this process of healing, of being able to connect more fully with unconditional love. And so again, I'm going to move my right hand clockwise direction in this spiral. And I'm going to place my hand on my belly, also known as this energy center, a little bit below my belly, my energy center that we call the sacral energy center, the sacral chakra. This is sort of the place of the womb, of all of those sexual energies that arise in us, but it's also the place of base emotion. This is where many of us might carry our sadness, our anger, our angst. This is where we often store unprocessed emotion in our womb, in our sacral area, which means we cut off the flow of creativity. We cut off the flow of the rising energies that are here to really like move the life force into the world. So in these moments, let's just open our sacral energies. And continuing that spiral, we're moving again clockwise, kind of grazing our right shoulder and coming to our throat. Very tenderly place your hand upon your own throat area. This is your throat chakra that allows you to express, to be you in the world, to allow this unique aspect of yourself to come forth into the world, to speak your truth. So for a few moments, let us invite this energy center to awaken, to open. What if unconditional love truly flowed freely through your throat? What might you say this week? How might you interact with others? What truth long hidden might you speak aloud? It might just even be the truth that you fully love and embrace and accept yourself, because you know that you are a beloved creation of God. You are a cherished child of the divine. You are an aspect, a fractal of God, and you are here to make your contribution. And you cannot do that if your throat chakra, if your throat energy is blocked. You cannot be your unique contribution, your beautiful gift in this world, if you're unable to speak your truth. We invite those energies to open and flow. Use your breath. Just breathe from your belly and just release. Make whatever noises you need to right now. You might even have a word that's arising that has long been hidden, and you just need to speak it out there. Even if nobody's around to hear you, that's okay. Just put it out there. I'm going to continue clockwise, spiral. And this time we're going to between our legs, this root, this place that kind of roots us deep into the earth, our root energy center. You can place your hands directly on your physical body or away from your physical body, whatever is most comfortable to you. And let's invite the unconditional love of God to awaken this energy, this base of our spine, where we literally are connected and safe in this world, able to stand securely in this world. If we've experienced some violence or some kind of way we've been cut off from connection with the earth, or if we have been living in fear, this is an energy center that tenderly and gently and fully needs to be awakened and needs to be opened, perhaps even repaired. And so whatever you need in these moments, we just pray for God to come, for the unconditional love that is God to come and to give what is needed, so that this center that allows you to feel secure and safe in this world is healed and is whole and is open and flowing. Let's take a deep breath here. Maybe even feel the breath reaching all the way to this point between your legs, to the base of your spine, your perineum. Just feel the energy of your breath reaching even there and then releasing. Let's do that one more time. If you've experienced some kind of trauma, some kind of earth sort of shattering disaster, this energy center may need some repair, some attention. One of the quickest ways, you may know by now, one of the quickest ways is to just heel toe your feet into the ground, tap your heels into the ground, and you're going to begin to open and return all of your energy to this energy center of your root. Get yourself back grounded. When you're afraid, when anxiety is rising, tapping your heels into the ground is one of the fastest ways to bring you back fully into yourself, to not allow fear to have its way with you. And continuing clockwise spiral, we're going to come up to between our eyebrows, our brow, placing your hand just on your forehead, or you might have it a little bit lower if you don't have glasses on. Actually, it's best to take your glasses off when you do these kind of openers. So now we're entering into these higher energy centers, these higher frequencies. We can invite our brow to be open so that we will be able to have an awakening of our own intuition, our deep inner sight, feeling that flow of unconditional love here in this place. Let's continue in this clockwise pattern. And for today, I'm just going to have you place your hands on your knees. One hand on each knee. You don't have to have your arms crossed, but just your right hand on your right knee, your left hand on your left knee. Just awaken unconditional love there. You may even want to give a little gratitude for your knees. We rub them a little bit in a clockwise spiral because our knees are these important joints that really can take a beating in our lives. Sometimes we bump our knees, we fall on our knees, depending on if you've been an athlete, if you've been jumping around a lot, if you're a runner, even if you're doing particular yoga poses, if you're a dancer, your knees can take such a force of weight on them every day. Your feet do even more so, but Knees also are this joint that's really flexible. It allows us to move forward in life. We can step backwards when we need to get some perspective thanks to our knees. And using our right hand one more time, clockwise direction, all the way up to the crown of our head, the top of our head. I wonder if anybody has ever literally placed their hand on the top of your head. I once had a nun in a massage do this, move around that skin of our skull. She said Presbyterians had incredibly inflexible skeletal scalps. So maybe move that around now and again. I want to make sure our scalp flows a little freely. It's a nice little massage there. And just leaving our hand resting on our crown. This upper energy center is the energy center that allows us to connect beyond. There's so much more beyond just who I am. Yes, the divine lives in each one of us, but the divine, the energy, the full unconditional love is so far beyond every one of us. There's a beautiful universe beyond us. And when we have an open, flowing crown, we're able to radiate outside of us and to allow those external energies to come and connect with us, to give us wisdom, to give us insight. It's so fascinating that in traditions around the world, either marking the brow or marking the forehead, I mean, the crown is these centers where blessing is passed on, where people might be anointed, where we are reminded that we have a purpose and that we are chosen and beloved. And so maybe now and again to anoint your own forehead, to anoint your own crown, to remind yourself that you are chosen and you are beloved by infinite love, by unconditioned love. So now that our spiral is all the way open, I'm going to invite you to continue to move that right hand clockwise around your whole body. Let's just move it truly in a big circle around us. I'm diverging right now from that healing touch technique I've mentioned. Just move a big old, like you're making a circle all the way around your body. You could go down to your knees if you want, or maybe just down to your root area, all the way around, up beyond. And when you get to the place where you're close to your left shoulder, just cut across to your chest, go placing your right hand back in the center of your chest. Perhaps you can place your left hand palm up. Just rest it on your lap. And for a few moments, we're going to be in some time of stillness. We still have that intention that we are awakened and that we are uniting with the unconditional love that is God, that resides in all things. Because as I said, this is an internal practice. We seek unconditional love first within. Then we are able to love unconditionally in this world. So in these moments, and if you are monkey mind kicks in and you are taken off course, off chart, then just bring yourself back with an internal message. Just kind of call yourself back. You might even use the internal words, return to the love that is in you. Return to the love that is in you. you're distracted, you also can take that deep breath from your belly and release it. Just settling further into this calm, this centeredness, this unconditional love that is in you. Perhaps noticing if there's a consistent thought or a consistent pattern that is arising, that is taking you out of this sense of unconditional love, that unconditional love resides in you and that you are unconditionally loved just because you are. If you're noticing a pattern or an action or an aspect of your being that is kind of taking you from that, just note that. That would be a good thing to be doing some journaling around and to be inviting the divine to actually heal, because that means you're not living according to the divine's voice. You are living according to ego's voice, culture's voice, family's voice, whatever it might be, empire's voice, societal voice that still wants to control us and commodify us. But if we have a block from a sense of being beloved of God, by God, we are not in that right relationship with God. Something is blocking that. And so we can pray for divine, for God, for unconditional love to heal us of that, to give us a different word, to speak in that voice that is the tenderest, most accepting voice that can ever be, because it is the voice of pure love. It is the voice of our Creator that is in us, that is outside of us, and that holds us in life and in death. We can ask God to heal any other voice that we carry within, because any other voice we carry within is wrong. The voice of God, the voice of unconditioned love, is truly the blessing and the way in which we are in relationship with God. When we start with our original blessedness, as Matthew Fox talks about in his book, Original Blessing, when we start from that place of our original blessedness, that doesn't mean we will think that we can do no wrong. Of course we can do wrong. Of course, every one of us can internally and externally act in ways that separate us from this divine flow of unconditional love. Every one of us can do that. Every one of us can treat other people with incredible disrespect that cuts us from this sense of connection with unconditioned love. Every one of us can do that, but we have to start with our blessedness. Our blessedness is what heals us and calls us back to being in right relationship with this unconditional energy of love that is God, that then will allow us to be in right relationship with ourselves and with others, with all the world. We will see it all as beloved as well. So let's take another deep breath and let's release. And another deep breath. And release. And before we depart this time, again, having noted what you needed to in the stillness, understanding and taking note of how you are feeling right now. You may not understand how you're feeling right now, but at least taking notice of what is going on in your system and your being right now. Before we depart, we are going to close this spiral which is not to say we're closing our energy centers. It's not to say we're closing ourselves from the flow of love. It's just a way to kind of complete this flow of unconditional love and ensure that we are in a sense and in a field of energy that is promoting of our fullness. So we take our hand, our right hand, and we place it back beyond our head. This time we're going to go counterclockwise. So this spiral goes towards the right. And let's just make some slow circles all the way around us. With that intention that we are being sealed in this beautiful bubble of love. Let's just do one more, and we will then place both of our hands in the center of our chest once again. Come back together there in the heart space. And let's set an intention that we go forth from this time of pausing for peace, that we go forth a little firmer in our understanding that we are unconditionally loved, and a little more impressing upon ourselves to seek that love, to seek that unconditional love within, so that we can radiate unconditional love everywhere we go. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your Valentine. Don't worry if you have somebody to send you a Valentine or not, because you know how to awaken the unconditional love that is within you, and find a way to share that unconditional love wherever you go this week. Have a wonderful start also to this season of Lent, this time for Christians of coming back to this path of observing deeply our spiritual practices, of releasing that which gets in the way of us living this unconditional love, and of setting that intention to unite every day, every moment that we can with the unconditional love that is God, that is in all things. Blessings, and I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 12. Also stay tuned for our first episode of a Pause for Peace interview coming up soon in Pause for Peace. Blessings.